Welcome to my channel David Tech. In this video I will show you how to use in a full tutorial the new Insta360 Studio 2020. The Insta360 just released the new version, is especially designed for the Insta1R camera. And no more talking, let's go and see how that works. First of all, you need to go to the Insta website, which is insta360.com, then downloads. Here you need to click on Insta1R. You will find here the phone apps for Android and iOS, the firmware, you want to update the firmware manually, and the apps for PC and Mac. As well, you have the LUT, which is for color correction, as we will see in a different video. I will download, in this case, Mac OS, and once it's installed, we can start editing. This is the version 2020 3.4.5. Well, this is the Insta Studio, this is the main screen, and now I will add some video so we can start editing. As you can see, the 360 module, I have two files, one for each length. I only need to drag into the software one. The 4K module only have one file because only have one length. So let's take this one and drag it into the Insta Studio. Well, first of all, we see that it's opening as a key rectangular view. So we have the whole footage in a rectangle. It's not with the 360 view. That's why we are in the view section of the software. If you choose free capture, you will be able to see a flat video and you can move the camera around. So I will try to show you first here in view what we can do with the footage and how to export it as a 360 video that you can reproduce in Google Photos, YouTube, or any other software. Here on the right side we have a different option. FlowState Stabilization basically stabilize the footage, and pretty much you need to use it all the time, otherwise, as you can see here, is unusable. Lock the direction of the camera pointing to where the primary lens is pointing, but we will see this in the free capture editing. The stitching options, as you see, you have normal, you have lens guard, you have dive case, depends what you are using, you need to choose one or the other. For me in this case, I don't have any lens guards in this footage, so I leave it in normal. If you are using the dive case, you only need to check this option, and the stitching the algorithm for the stitching will change and do it better. So the stitching optimization for default is the dynamic stitching. As you can see in the image, if you disable it, makes the stitching a little bit worse, so it's always recommended to leave it on. As well, the chromatic calibration. This will make the stitching better. The aerial edition is for the drone. Unfortunately, I don't have one yet, so I can't show you that, guys. The true audio, you leave it off, you don't have any enhancement. The vocal enhancement will be basically to enhance the vocal. And the background noise reduction is supposed to reduce the background, like the wind. At least in this firmware, that it's not advisable to enable this setting in the camera. I would advise you to leave it off because otherwise the sound won't be very useful. We have here one of the new options for this software, which is the play rate, is the speed that we now finally can control in the Insta Studio. We can choose the same options as we have in the app, but unfortunately we only can apply this to the whole clip, to the whole footage. We cannot use it in one part of it, so you will have to cut it and edit as a separate video or using a third-party software. You won't see the preview of the 16 speed, for example, because as the same as the app, need to renderize, and then you will see after exporting. Slow motion, this case is a 30 frame video, so it's not very useful here for slow motion. It's better for the 4K. So here we have the timeline. As you can see, you can move around, and I leave it none in this case. Well, more options here. We have the calibration. If you are not happy how your stitching line looks like, you always can do the stitching calibration, which will analyze the video again and try to improve it. If you want to use the Nadir logo, you can enable this option, choose your own logo, do it bigger or smaller, or whatever you want. I don't like it, so I would remove it. For now, you can use the Insta one. Well, the timeline, as you can see, what you can do here in the view editing, you can basically make the video smaller. You can just click here to start the video wherever you have the pointer. You can take a snapshot. This snapshot will be a 360 photo that you can reproduce in Google Photos, for example. And I will make a small clip so the exporting process will be quicker. In order to do that, I have to click here. I will save the changes. But we have the native resolution of 5.7K. 360 video. The codec, we have the 264 and 265. Depends on your machine, you should choose one or the other. In my case, I can choose the 265, but you may have some incompatibilities, or you will need a powerful machine in order to process this file. So it's up to you. Really, once you choose your codec, you need to set up the bitrate. I will always put it to the maximum to lose the less quality possible, and we have here other new option, the remove rain night. This is a noise reduction basically, and it's useful when you have low light footage or night footage. That will improve quite significantly the final result. In this case, I'm not using it because it was quite okay, the light condition. Well, we choose a name for the file and where we want to save it. Once you have everything, you can click OK and the process will start. We can open the folder where the file is saved, and you can reproduce it as an MP4 in any player, but you need to be aware that it's a 360 video, so a normal player won't be able to give you the 360 view. So in this case, because I'm in a Mac PC as well, you can open the file in the BLC software, which is adapted for the 360 videos. As you can see, you can move around, and this video you can upload to YouTube or Google Photos, and YouTube will automatically recognize as a 360. As you can see, you can do zoom out, zoom in, or move around and play. Well, now another things that you can do with your Insta1R camera and the Insta360 2020 Studio is the artificial intelligence. So you need to go to the clip and you will see this little icon here. It's not easy to see. If you click, the software will analyze your footage and will give you several different little clips with an interesting point of view, and it's kind of handy. It's like in the app, in the mobile app, you can choose those little clips to make your final composition. The only problem here is that you cannot do much editing with those clips from the IA. Basically, you can play every one of them, but you don't have the option to free capture. You cannot change the camera point of view. You basically only can make it larger or smaller or take a snapshot. As you can see, you have different ratios. You can change to 1:1, like Facebook or Instagram stories, 16:9 for YouTube. And as I said, you can just choose few clips from here, and what you can do is export the clips and you will have an MP4 files, and then you can use those files to edit in the Insta360. You can import them then again, or you can use it in a third-party app. Here you have the basic settings. As you see, it's HD because you are taking just a flat video from the 360 video, which is 5.7. Here you're taking just a little part of the frame is an HD. You could resize upscale to 4K here, but I leave you here a card so you can see how to do it with Premiere, which is you will get more definition, sharper video. Here the bitrate you can choose manually. You only have two options, extremely high and high. Depends how much space you want to spend your file, and as well the codec, the 264 or 265. We have again two options for effects, the color plus that we know from the previous software, and the new one, remove grain, for noise reduction. You can choose wherever you want to save the file, click OK, and you will have all the files that you selected. I will show you an example that I exported before. This is one of the clips that the IA thought that was interesting. Obviously it's not, because it's me. Well, let's go back to our footage. And now I want to show you how to edit a flat video, how to get a flat video from your 360 footage. So in order to do this, where we need to go is to the free capture. Once you're here, you see that you have now your flat video. You can move the camera around. So what you can do as well, the video larger or shorter. This is for zoom in, zoom out the timeline. You can change the ratio 35:1 to 1:1, 9:16, 16:9, wherever you want. You have the option here to set up. I will leave it in 16:9 for YouTube purposes, and the option here are exactly the same that in the view mode. So we are not spending time in here. So now what I'm going to do is starting the keyframing. I will select where the camera will point, and to add the first keyframe I need to click here in this little icon, and we'll add the first keyframe. I will have here some parameters that you can modify and basically will affect how the camera view looks like. Here you have the tiny planet view, you have the ball, the flat view, natural view, and the fish eye. Here you have the timestamp. Basically, you can choose where this keyframe will be in the timeline. You can adjust manually to the second that you want, or you can drag the point over the timeline and automatically will change the timestamp. Here you have the pan angle, which basically will pan the footage from left to right and right to left. You can do it while dragging the video in the viewer. Tilt angle will go up and down. Roll, which will roll the video at any angle you want. You can do the B-roll very easy using this option from one keyframe to the other. The FOV, file of view, you can increase the file of view or decrease it. And the distance that basically will zoom in and zoom out in your footage. All of these values can be modified in each keyframe. So I will start adding some keyframes and let's see how it looks like later on. Here in this one, I will change the view to Tiny Planet. So will be a transition for normal video to Tiny Planet. And in the last one, just at the end of the video, you click in this button, will give you the last frame of the video. Add a new keyframe and change the view to fish eye. As you see, there are lines between the keyframes. If you select the line, you will see that this is a transition between the key points, the keyframes. So you can change how the transition will behave, starting faster and then going slowly, or the other way around, or a mix of both. You can just play around with these values and see which one will be better for your footage. Every transition can have a different effect. If you're not happy, you can just choose another one until you are happy with the result. Another option we have here is the snapshot. If you want to make a Tiny Planet quick snapshot, you can do it just like that. Another option we have here is that you can select either the keyframes or the transitions holding the Command or Mac or Control for Windows key. You can select all of them if you want and change at once the transition. You can delete it if you want. The same for the keyframes. You can select one or more than one. Let's go to export the clip, click OK, and as we are doing a flat video, we have the HD resolution. You can upscale it if you want, but I recommend to do it in Premiere, as you will see in my video in this card. Codec, as we had before, I would choose 265, but 264 is more compatible and you will need less requirements for your machine. Well, the bitrate, I'm trying to always select the maximum possible to keep all the information, and we have the effects that we explained before, the noise reduction and the color plus. You can choose your file name and the location, and once you click OK, the exporting process will start. When it's finished, you can open the folder from here And if you play the video in a normal player, you will see how the final result looks like. And as a MP4 file, you can just do whatever you want with the file. Upload to YouTube, share it in your social network. Now, let's try a 4K file. This footage has been recorded with the 4K module. It's only one file because this module only has one length. So we don't have the free capture because it's not 360 footage, obviously. The options are pretty much the same that we saw before. As you can see, the FlowState Stabilization is very important to leave it on, otherwise it's unusable. But when you enable the stabilization, it's amazing. I was riding my scooter and was very bumpy. So, the options for audio are the same. We have the play rate, new option for speed. You can easily create a hyperlash choosing the speed here, but you cannot blur the image like we do in the app. And the file of view, basically you can set up whatever you want. It's not necessary to set up this while you're recording the video because you can do it in post, as we can see here. As we did before, you can take a snapshot, and here only thing that you can do is make the video shorter or longer. I will do it shorter for a quicker exportation. Click Save Changes, and you have here the native 4K resolution, as you can see, because we use the 4K module. You can choose the bitrate and the codec, as we did before, and we have as well the same option. Noise reduction for night and the color plus, or none. You can choose your file name and the location. Then when you click OK, the process will start. You can open the folder and play the final result. A bit jumpy, the computer is suffering for the moment. You can see the type of file, INSV. This is proprietary for Insta, so you won't be able to open this file in a normal player. You will need to use the Insta Studio to export to an MP4 file. You can use the plugin for Premiere, and in that case you will be able to use this file directly without exporting first in the Insta Studio app to get the MP4 file. One of the last things that I want to talk about is how to see the properties of the file, how to check the bitrate that the video was recorded. So here you click over the clip, right button, File Properties, you will see the bitrate and other information like the camera, the firmware on the camera that you use, dot point, and you can do the same for the 360 footage. You will see that the bitrate for this one is 92 Mbps, frame rate, resolution, camera, and firmware that you use for the recording. I hope you liked the video. If so, please subscribe to my channel and enable the ring so you will have my notification for my next tutorial. If you have any comment, please leave it below and I will be more than happy to solve it. Thank you very much again, guys. See you in the next video. Bye.